In Central Africa, where howls echo across the plains, a storm of power is rising. This isn't just one battle. This is where every opportunity can become a meal. Today, on this barren land, we will witness decisive moments between strength, instinct, and calculation. What has made baboons one of Africa's most fearsome, opportunistic predators? Let's step into the dark corner few know about of the most dangerous primate on the plains. Across that yellow grass patch, a blood-smeared face is lowering to tear apart a small prey's carcass. At first glance, seeming like a big cat, but no, that's a monkey. That's a baboon, one of Africa's largest primates. Though famous for eating fruit and seeds, they're still ready to eat meat from any prey when opportunity arises. That behavior doesn't stem from aggression, but is part of the species' survival strategy. To understand it, one must first look at the entire troop's distinctive society. This vertical cliff face is their fortress, where ground hunters cannot climb. Every night, entire troop climbs up to sleep. Mornings descend again to grassland foraging. Females cluster into close-knit groups, bonded since young. Males leave troop upon maturity, leaving females to remain, maintaining stable order across generations. A mother monkey cradles infant, few months old, gently using fingers to part fur layer, picking out parasites. A seemingly simple behavior filled with meaning. For baboons, grooming is society's currency. It not only helps reduce stress, but also tightens relationships, maintaining entire troops' cohesion. On the highest rock ledge sits the lead male, broad shoulders, sharp fangs protruding from lip edge. But right below, a young male is advancing closer than troop order permits. Suddenly, it raises head staring straight into lead male's eyes. For baboons, that's the clearest challenge any subordinate individual can send to the leader. In response, lead male bears fangs over 5 centimeters long. For baboons, those weapons aren't for hunting prey, but for displaying strength and claiming mating rights. Without hesitation, young male springs up lunging at opponent. Two bodies over 30 kilos collide on narrow rock ledge, fangs tearing shoulder and neck. Lead male locks opponent's neck, but young one twists body, biting back at scruff. A shriek rings out, and for first time in many seasons, the one on top must step back. Old defeated male flees quickly, turning face toward grassland. No one looks back, because here position can change hands after just one morning. The victor sits majestically on highest rock ledge, shoulder bleeding, yet back still straight, eyes sweeping down over a troop. A high-ranking female approaches, beginning to groom new leader. That touch is silent acknowledgement given to the newly crowned one. But below, a mother monkey still holds tight an infant carrying bloodline of the old ruler. Newly crowned one's eyes suddenly pause on those two, because a female still nursing won't yet be an estrus, while it needs to pass on genes quickly. It climbs down, advances straight toward the mother-infant pair. Sensing ill omen, mother monkey holds infant tight and runs quickly away. Male charges forward, intending to snatch the infant, but mother monkey clutches infant to chest, dashes off. Panicked cries ring across the area, while male only chases briefly, then gives up. Mother monkey holds infant tight after escaping danger, but not every infant is as fortunate. Many still cannot survive the power struggles within the troop. This brutal behavior isn't unique to baboons. From lions to many other species, those seizing power typically eliminate the previous ruler's offspring, following nature's cold law. Despite pain, mother monkey still doesn't leave troop, because being solitary makes survival difficult amid plagues. Entire troop's atmosphere weighs down, tension spreading through every movement. On grassland, hunger and tension make entire troop search more aggressively. They dig earth, flip rocks, even break off scorpion's venomous tail to eat the safe body portion. Roots and insects are no longer enough to feed entire 40-member troop amid dry season. They leave cliff face, advancing toward an impala herd grazing at acacia forest edge. Strangely, impala herd doesn't flee. Living beside each other daily, they use baboon troops' calls from high positions as warning signals whenever predators appear. But this season, in impala herd, there are calves only days old, legs still weak, running still slow, and they're not yet wise enough to distinguish friend from foe. Lead male casually walks through herd, impala herd still calmly grazes, but his eyes have locked tight on one small one standing just few steps from its mother. In just a blink, he lunges forward, both hands gripping young impala tight amid grass. Long fangs sink deep into scrub, ending resistance almost immediately. Mother impala charges forward, then freezes. Before those sharp fangs, she can only watch her offspring being carried away. That very scene opened today's story. Strangely, impala herd still doesn't leave, but continues grazing near baboon troop. For them, losing one offspring still carries less risk than losing warning system helping entire herd survive. It shares first portion of meat with high-ranking female, because in this species, meat is gift exchanged for mating. But small prey cannot fill entire troops' hunger. This land has depleted food, forcing entire troop to set off. Ahead is a river, where green grass strip on opposite bank promises new food source. Entire troop wades across river, water rising nearly to chest. Mothers carry young ones on backs, while in murky water below, a crocodile eye pair has already silently surfaced. Water surface suddenly explodes. A crocodile springs up, clamping onto a young monkey struggling to swim, pulling hard into current before other individuals can react. Several males immediately turn back, shrieking, looking at exact spot where water just closed. But current has already swept away their kindred. Setting foot on opposite bank, entire troop now only numbers 38. A completely unfamiliar land opens up, with scents, cliff faces, and trails never known before. Sentry male climbs onto highest rock point, observing. Only seconds later, a sharp alarm call rings out, pointing straight toward bushes where leopard lies in ambush. Instead of fleeing, adult males simultaneously charge forward. Growling sounds combined with displayed fang pairs transforms entire troop into threatening mass before this lands lure. Leopard silently retreats from bushes, then disappears into acacia forest. Confronting an entire adult baboon troop has never been a wise choice for a solitary one. But that retreat doesn't mean giving up. From behind acacia canopy, golden eyes still silently watch, memorizing every trail the intruders are following. By afternoon, entire troop finds new resting place. Cramped space and unfamiliar scents make them more vigilant. No one truly sleeping soundly as in the old place. High on tree, new leader still keeps eyes slightly open observing the night. Somewhere beneath dark acacia canopy, a predator still patiently waits for the right moment to strike. Early dawn, thin mist covers grass surface when light hasn't yet brightened. From acacia forest direction, a long spotted shadow silently crawls toward cliff face base. Leopard has returned, exactly when entire troop has also awakened foraging for a new day. On unfamiliar terrain, sentry males haven't yet managed to claim best positions. Leopard moves lightly, curved claws already ready, eyes born for dim light quickly lock tight on one lying at the edge. One suddenly alerts, shrieks alarm. Entire troop erupts, jumping up, but already too late. Leopard has clamped onto the unlucky one, then springs away into mist. Entire troop intends to turn back, but Leopard has vanished. Daytime, grassland belongs to the monkeys, but in dim light, that's the world of leopards. When day fully brightens, only a blood streak and tuft of gray fur remain on rock ledge. Entire troop silently looks toward mist where leopard just disappeared. No way to give chase. First rays of sunlight shine on land where troop has just lost another member. On High Branch, new leader sits surveying strange land, listening to plains movements. The wild boar suddenly freezes, its snout still covered in earth. From within the leaf litter, an unfamiliar scent has just drifted past on the wind, and the hair along its spine goes rigid. It raises its head, eyes sweeping across the brown leaf floor, then realizes the space behind it is empty. The group has moved far ahead. It is alone in the middle of the forest. 10 meters away, behind a fallen trunk, two pupils have narrowed and are watching without blinking. The jaguar presses flat against the ground, its spotted coat dissolving into the forest shadow almost perfectly. The jaguar launches from its hiding place, muscle driving through the dry leaves. 10 meters disappear in an instant before the boar can react. The impact is clean and decisive. The boar manages only a few desperate struggles before lying still and helpless among the damp leaf litter. But its chance of survival had already passed some time before. At the very moment it hesitated between two options without committing to either. In that forest, fate is decided by one moment of hesitation. And beside this river, everything will depend on whether one dares to hold on or let go. The bald eagle perches on a dry branch at the water's edge. 3 missed dives since morning have soaked the wings progressively heavier, and its strength has been draining with every passing hour. Below, salmon keeps surging through the fast current. Then a large silver body launches upward, enough to fill the belly for the entire day, but heavy enough to pull it under. The eagle dives anyway, wings folded tight, talons extended forward. After hours of nothing to show, it decides to stake everything it has left on this one strike. Talons pierce through scales in the white of the current. Immediately, a violent thrash pulls the entire eagle down toward the water surface, both wingtips beating hard against the rushing flow. The fish shows no sign of weakening. It continues driving downstream with every ounce of strength, hauling the hunter above as the feathers grow heavier with water. Let go and lose the biggest meal of the day. Hold on and be dragged deeper. And in a split second, the eagle makes its choice. Nearly a minute passes before the talons find the edge of a rock. The eagle drags the fish onto the bank, wings waterlogged, not yet able to take off. It holds the meal, but has also placed itself at its most vulnerable. And on the savannah, an opposite confrontation is beginning, where the prey is the one to strike. In the low grass, a cobra rears and spreads its hood facing a mongoose. At a glance, it looks as though the snake holds the upper hand. But the mongoose does not retreat. It sidesteps, then presses back in. The dense neck fur raised, its reflexes always one beat ahead of the snake's head. The cobra misses. Every lunge exposes a brief gap when the neck is fully extended, but has not yet pulled back. On the fourth strike, just as the head drops for an instant, the mongoose drives straight forward instead of retreating. The opening it has been waiting for has finally appeared. The small jaws lock behind the skull before the neck can retract. The snake coils back violently through the grass, but the fangs can no longer reach their target. In an instant, all roles are reversed. The mongoose wins not through venom or strength, but through the stubbornness to press all the way in. The mongoose swallows the last bite, wipes its muzzle on the grass, and walks away. The smallest creature on the grassland, but victorious because it drove forward at the exact moment every other instinct said to pull back. In a few seconds, it reversed its fate. But beside the Mara River, another hunter can wait for hours for just one decisive moment. The Nile crocodile has been lying still under the mud at the bank's edge since morning, jaws level with the water's surface. Its two eyes are nothing but two dark points, reading the world through vibrations in the mud. A zebra herd comes down to drink, their front hooves touching the shallows. The crocodile picks up the signal and locks its response onto the individual standing closest to the mud edge, head lowered. Its body has already entered a state of readiness, the tail compressed into the mud, holding all the force for one single launch from the still bottom. Mud erupts as the jaws rise out of the water, opening wide past the bank's edge. But the zebra pulls its leg back in time. The bite grazes through empty space by just a few centimeters. The entire herd breaks from the bank in chaos, mud and water churned murky. When the movement stops, there is only empty water and traces already erased. After hours in ambush, the single lunge ends with a very small miscalculation. Just one instant of reflex from the prey changed everything. The crocodile quietly sinks back beneath the mud. The water closes flat within seconds, erasing every trace of the strike that just took place. The next herd will come here to drink, with no idea the danger is still intact just below the mud. Today was only the first attempt. One second off for the crocodile, a whole day lost. And nearby, a more desperate struggle has just erupted as the wild dog pack has just dragged a young buffalo calf away from the herd. The wild dogs hold the calf pinned and bellowing as it thrashes, maintaining relentless pressure, while the entire buffalo herd keeps moving forward, not one turning back. But the calf's cry has reached its mother. She stops, swings her head around, then breaks from the herd and charges back toward the desperate call. The pack shifts pressure onto the mother, maintaining the encirclement from multiple directions, while the calf moves close beside her and the situation shifts into a direct standoff. The wild dogs drive in from multiple directions, forcing the mother to keep turning to block them. But each turn grows a little slower, a little heavier. Then from the distance, the drumming of hooves closes in. Several males from the herd have heard the signal and come charging back, forcing the wild dog pack to scatter. The calf runs safely into the middle of the herd. The mother holds the rear in defense, her heavy body shielding from behind, each slow step exchange for her calf's survival. The wild dog pack slowly withdraws, watching the buffalo herd disappear into the tall grass, the chance of victory dissolving right before them. The patch of grass that was just a site of life and death struggle now holds nothing but wind. The hunt closes in a way the wild dogs had not planned. The buffalo herd leaves the savanna in the afternoon light, the mother walking last. The wild dog pack lies on a rise, watching their shapes fade into the distance in silence. On the rocky bank, the eagle sits beside the cold fish carcass. And beneath the mara, the crocodile has sunk back to the bottom, patient for another opportunity. The mother buffalo walks slower than the herd, each step heavier than the last, but still following the shape of her calf, growing smaller ahead. On this planet, it is not always the strongest that survives. It is the one that makes the right decision at the right moment. And once the choice is made, nature records the result immediately. A cheetah runs up, lowering head, sniffing the small motionless companion lying on grass. No response, only wind blowing through spotted fur and silence enveloping the grassland. In the distance, two yellow shadows remain there, one individual bearing full injuries. On the plains, no victory is priceless. 2 hours earlier, early sun just touched Masai Mara grassland, and wildlife's rhythm began awakening. Under acacia canopy, a cheetah group rests with cubs. This is Zuri's family, one of Masai Mara's largest coalitions. Cheetahs are the planet's fastest big cat, speed reaching over 100 kilometers per hour. But in exchange is slender body and weak bite force, creating disadvantage in direct confrontation. Therefore, cheetahs typically form sibling coalitions, hunting and defending territory together. And Zuri's family has many adults, a rare number, strong enough to control wide territory. But even that coalition cannot protect cubs continuously. Individuals under 6 months still have high mortality rate from lions, hyenas, and birds of prey. This morning, 3 adult males left the group hunting, leaving females to protect 2 cubs, force reduced, and risk immediately increased. 2 cheetah cubs are playing with rabbit carcass. Mother brought this morning, pulling, shaking, and pouncing each other. They play about 30 meters from acacia, completely losing vigilance. On empty grassland, distance becomes weakness. Group lies under tree canopy, leaving 2 cubs exposed within perfect range for opportunists. To the east, about 200 meters away in tall grass, a solitary lioness on patrol has detected movement. It lowers body, focusing completely on 2 separated cheetah cubs. Lions don't hunt cheetahs for food, but to eliminate competing rivals. This behavior is common, helping reduce future resource pressure. Distance gradually closes. Lioness creeps low, nearly invisible, while 2 cheetah cubs still play absorbed, not yet experienced enough to recognize threat. 20 meters. Lioness compresses muscles. Hind legs press earth. Under tree canopy, an adult cheetah raises head, scenting danger, but already too late. Lioness bursts into speed, 140 kilograms charging through low grass. 2 cheetah cubs panic, running 2 directions, but legs not fast enough. One immediately caught in lioness's jaws. Remaining cheetah cub rushes toward 2 adults, caught individualized still. No response, as lioness stops and turns, head facing charging group. Lioness doesn't retreat. It moves, holding cheetah cub like living shield, facing adult individuals growling with message. Advance further, cub will pay price. 2 adult cheetahs advance few steps, then stop. They recognize the stalemate, when mass difference makes direct confrontation nearly hopeless. But cheetahs don't fight with strength, but with tactics, continuously distracting and dividing pressure from 2 sides to lock lioness's reaction rhythm. Harassment tactics begin. One advances forward, growling, drawing attention. Others circle behind, exploiting blind spot, forcing lioness to spin, continuously defending. Lioness gradually loses control, simultaneously holding prey in jaws while defending 2 sides, cannot roar or counterattack, locked in disadvantageous position. One from behind lunges, clawing lioness's flank, then immediately retreats. Lioness whips around, but gap has shifted direction while another continues closing in. After many minutes of harassment, lioness gradually exhausts from continuous spinning, jaws tired from holding prey, and calmness replaced by rage. And that's what cheetahs are waiting for. When lioness loses control, it must attack and release jaws, self-opening the mistake tactics aim for. Cheetah from behind lunges again, clawing deep into lioness's back, wounded through fur layer. Lioness roars, turns body in rage, and moment jaws open, cheetah cub falls. Lioness doesn't release from mercy, but because counterattack instinct overwhelms holding prey, immediately shifting to direct confrontation. An adult cheetah rushes to where cub just fell, lowers checking, but small body no longer responds, completely motionless. And that moment changes everything. It carries cub's body away. Eyes go cold, pack instinct fully activated. Right then, 3 adult cheetahs hunting return, abandoning prey immediately and charging straight back to group. Adult individuals converge, completing formation. First time lioness faces entire coalition. Cheetah group surrounds completely, eyes unblinking, bodies lowered. Force balance tilts decisively, and lioness recognizes this. Tactics upgrade. They take turns moving, forcing lioness to continuously spin left, right, behind, but every direction blocked, making encirclement increasingly tight. Attack strikes begin intensifying. Each one lunges clawing, then withdraws immediately. Not fatal, but eroding stamina through each defensive spin rhythm. Lioness roars and counterattacks, but misses. Each lunge makes it lose more strength, while opponents always stay out of reach. 10 minutes pass. Lioness gradually slows, swipes weaker, body turns heavier, and distance compressed from 5 meters down to 2. Encirclement tightens each beat. Claw marks thicken across body, not fatal, but enough to gradually drain strength. First time, lioness lowers center of gravity, shifting to defensive stance. Cheetah group recognizes the change. When the strong begin defending, battle has reversed. Attack rhythm increases, pressure pushed even higher. But battle will stop there. On Masai Mara, no creature is completely alone, and lioness is no exception. Earlier roar has echoed farther than cheetah group's calls. Ground trembles slightly. From the east, a deep, heavy roar tears through plains, bringing massive yellow shadow charging, dark black mane, rippling muscles, answering the call and advancing straight into battle. Cheetah group immediately flees in unison. Balance completely shifts. What they dared do against exhausted lioness, one miss, cannot apply before 2 powerful hunters. Male lion stands beside mate, not roaring, not pursuing, only silently staring straight at cheetah group, and that presence enough to close the battle. Cheetah group backs away, no more attacking, no more encircling. When coalition faces coalition, they cannot defeat 2 lions. Afternoon sun descends on Masai Mara. Male lion lies licking wounds for lioness. Claw marks will heal, but lesson remains. The strong can still be eroded by numbers. And cheetahs also carry their own lesson. Coalition can erode solitary lioness, but cannot win when male lion appears. Each survival layer has limits. On this vast plain, conflict between lions and cheetahs occurs nearly daily, an arms race lasting millions of years. But today is exceptional. Rarely do cheetahs dare ambush, pressing lion into defense. Zuri's family transcended instinct, attacking the stronger. Price of ambush clear on both sides. Lioness weakened, requiring rescue. Cheetah group lost cub, a future link in Zuri's family, never given chance to mature. In nature, all behavior aligns with survival instinct. Lions eliminate potential rivals, while cheetahs protect next generation. No good or evil exists, only selection and consequence. Abandoned cub carcass will quickly attract vultures, insects, and microorganisms, initiating decomposition process, an essential link in nutrient cycle. Zuri's family begins stabilizing. Adult individual surrounding, cub at center, shielded, minimizing separation risk to maximum. Two lions still there. Lioness rests lying down, male stands guard beside. They'll return to territory tomorrow morning and continue patrol. At conflict point, grass gradually stands back up. Blood seeps into earth, fur scattered by wind. By tomorrow morning, traces will nearly vanish, only a few strands remaining. Survival on plains is problem without answer. Strength beats numbers, numbers beat individual, then coalition defeated by larger coalition. Somewhere on Masai Mara tonight, Zuri's family will lie close together under starry sky. Entire group will surround remaining cub in defensive formation. Evening wind blows across Masai Mara, carrying scent of wet grass and earth dust. Claw marks on lioness's back have dried, while cheetah cub carcass gradually covered by ants, all traces fading with time. But lesson not erased. Lioness becomes more cautious when facing large cheetah groups, while Zuri's group keeps cubs close to formation, each side accumulating experience from their own scars. As last light leaves Masai Mara, plains sink into invisible sounds, where just 1 second of carelessness can trade for irretrievable loss. The price for those who start conflict sometimes is those who must pay most dearly. Midday sun blankets the plains. Heat makes the air shimmer slightly. No breeze, no cloud shadows. Only silence stretching to the horizon. Amid the grassland, a zebra herd grazes, occasionally raising heads vigilantly, then lowering again. Peace here is always the most suspicious signal. Not far away, amid that uniform yellow grass sea, an anomalous form blends completely into the environment, motionless and nearly impossible to recognize. That's a lioness, lying flat less than 5 meters from prey. On the plains, the most dangerous thing isn't the echoing roar, but the silence. Africa isn't where the strongest rule, but where the best hidden survive. Biological camouflage is the supreme weapon of assassins. Lions are large cats living in prides, but most hunting activity belongs to females. individuals who directly approach and bring down targets. Tawny fur is the result of natural selection, helping the body blend into grass, minimizing risk of detection before attack. When approaching prey, lionesses lower their bodies flat to grass level, moving extremely slowly, just enough not to create clear movement signals to prey. And they always approach against the wind, keeping body scent behind. This is technique accumulated through many hunts, not just simple reflex. Pack hunting turns them into perfect coordination machines. One group blocks ahead, one group chases, forcing prey to charge straight into ambush. Lionesses have been in position since before dawn. The zebra herd is very close, but doesn't detect them. The invisible encirclement has closed, waiting for the activation moment. An individual separates from the herd, stepping into the gap between two ambush positions. Yellow eyes track each footstep of prey. Claws press lightly into ground. Lions from behind accelerate, forcing prey to run in predetermined direction. Escape reflex actually leads it into more dangerous territory. Individuals ahead simultaneously lunge out, blocking direction and closing in. The entire sequence unfolds in seconds, ending an ambush prepared over many hours. The zebra herd scatters and retreats. Lionesses stop. Target achieved. On the plains, initial distance matters more than final speed. But lionesses aren't the only assassins. When evening descends, another predator begins activity. A solitary hunter even lions are wary of. Leopards are masters of camouflage. Spotted coat not only helps hide, but also breaks up body outline, making prey struggle to recognize shape. In complex lighting conditions, this mechanism allows predators to be present right before eyes without being detected in time. Operating mainly at dusk and night, it exploits darkness plus soft paw pads to move with almost no sound. And leopards can drag prey heavier than their body up trees, turning canopies into safe dining places beyond reach of other species. Unlike pride-living lions, leopards hunt alone. Solitude helps reduce sound and signs, maintaining absolute advantage of surprise. This evening, an antelope stands under a tree base, head lowered, grazing. Its reflex scans both sides but completely ignores overhead. On high branches, the leopard lies motionless, observing and calculating. Everything stops at a moment waiting for prey to step exactly into approach range. The antelope doesn't realize at all. Above, the leopard lowers itself. Claws grip tree bark. Muscles compress like springs, then release. The leopard lunges down. Front legs seize the antelope's neck. Jaws lock tight upon touching ground, making prey unable to react. In only a short time, the leopard drags prey up the tree and disappears into the canopy, erasing all traces on the ground. Lions disappear along the ground plane. Leopards disappear vertically, but both are still limited by the ground, while another danger exists where prey must approach. The Okavango region's largest river enters migration season. Thousands of wildebeest gather at the bank, hesitating before the calm water surface, where death hides invisibly. Nile crocodile, reaching 5 meters long, weighing 700 kilograms. Right now, almost absent. Only eyes and nose protruding, the rest blending into murky watercolor. Rough gray-brown skin, matching river mud, helps it hide completely. It lies motionless for hours, waiting for prey to step into attack range. Bite force over 3,500 pounds per square inch, strongest in the animal kingdom. And reaction speed occurs so fast, prey cannot respond. Thousands of wildebeest begin flooding into water surface churning chaotically. They must wade across, though knowing each step carries risk. Water surface suddenly explodes. Crocodile jaws clamp tight on the nearest wildebeest's hind leg, then drag prey, disappearing into the water in seconds of silence. Multiple attack points occur in short time, breaking formation. Pressure increases as individuals struggle to escape the water area. Individuals reaching shore stop to look back at the gradually stabilizing river surface, only stillness remaining, concealing death below. Three assassins, three different camouflage types. When placed in the same ecosystem, we see three completely separate strategies. Lionesses camouflage horizontally, blending into grass and using pack coordination to drive prey into kill zones. Leopards camouflage multidimensionally, exploiting tree canopies and patterns to erase body outlines, controlling both ground level and heights. Nile crocodiles camouflage absolutely, hiding underwater, patiently waiting for prey to step into range. Their common point, not relying on speed but on patience, camouflage, and ability to shorten distance until prey cannot react. But on the Okavango savanna, the three assassins' territories often overlap. The same zebra herd can face all three in one day. Prey maintain continuous vigilance. Head down, eating for seconds, then raising to check. But when opponents have camouflaged, detection becomes uncertain. And that's precisely the survival paradox. Evolution enhances prey senses, while simultaneously optimizing predator concealment ability. Evening descends on Okavango. Zebras who survived the morning ambush are advancing toward the riverbank, slower, more vigilant, and no longer separating from the herd. They stop far from shore, a few lower to sniff grass, then immediately raise heads. Morning's lesson still imprinted in reflexes. The lead individual advances first, scanning river surface and both banks. checking even the dangerous upper layer before stepping forward, only then allowing the entire herd to advance. The zebra herd drinks in rotation rhythm, half with heads down, the other half observing. No longer moments when the entire herd loses vigilance. Below water, crocodiles have positioned, but distance is kept farther than usual, conditions insufficient for effective strikes. The herd leaves the bank immediately after drinking, not lingering. Quick decision helps reduce time exposed in risk zone. They stop to rest on high ground, standing in a circle, eyes facing all directions. New vigilance behavior formed after just one morning. In sparse forest, an African rock python lies motionless, coiled under a rotten tree trunk. Body pattern blends into tree bark, camouflage based on shape and color. Or a black mamba slides on tree branches, blending into dry branch color, so fast and silent only detected when already too close. And on the dry grassland surface, an African chameleon is changing color to match environment, continuously transforming to blend with surrounding background. On the African plains, every spatial layer has those hiding, all operating in silence. The zebra herd stands on high mound, choosing open place to rest at night. Long visibility, few concealment points, minimizing ambush risk. Evolution doesn't favor the noisy, but favors those controlling appearance timing. Right moment, close enough, and effective. But it also rewards memory. After morning's loss, the zebra herd is vigilant enough to survive the afternoon by the river, where crocodiles cannot strike. Night blankets Okavango in 3 spatial layers, countless predators are lurking, and countless prey are moving in the same system, repeating a cycle existing very long. And the question each prey on the plains faces daily isn't, are there predators here? Because the answer is always yes. The real question, the life or death question, is much simpler. In grass, in trees, or below water, right now, where is it? In the scorching semi-desert, a pit viper lies motionless on a rock. 2 heat-sensing pits between its eyes and nostrils, continuously scanning the environment around it. In its world, every warm-blooded creature appears as a moving point of light against the cool stone. Mice, lizards, and ground-foraging birds alike. A mouse steps out from a thorn bush about 30 centimeters away, completely silent. But the faint heat radiating from its body is already clearly visible in the predator's sensory system. The snake strikes with blinding speed, fangs driving precisely into the mouse's neck before the prey even has time to realize when it was first detected. The venom begins breaking down the prey's tissue from the inside. By the time the snake swallows, decomposition has already run ahead of the stomach. As swallowing begins, The snake's flexible jaw gradually widens to draw the entire mouse body inward in slow but precise alternating contractions. But heat sensing is not the only way snakes dominate the ground. Elsewhere, a giant hunts using nothing but muscle and patience sustained over hours. In the dry season, beside a river, most of the African rock python's body lies submerged in the mud at the water's edge, exposing only its eyes as it waits quietly for prey to draw near. A herd of impala slowly approaches the waterline. One female separates from the group and lowers her head to drink right at the edge of the mud, the exact spot where the python has been lying in ambush all morning. The mud surface explodes as the python launches upward, its backward curving teeth locking onto the prey's neck, while rings of muscle instantly coil around the ribcage, completely suppressing any movement. No crushing of bones, no tearing of flesh. It simply locks down each breath in turn until the impala goes still and the water's edge sinks back into silence. The python widens its jaws and alternately draws each section of the impala's body into its stomach over nearly an hour before lying motionless to digest over the following weeks. The python slides into the water, half submerged, eyes closed. Powerful stomach acid will dissolve bones, horn, and hooves. But this requires days of total stillness, and that is also the moment of greatest vulnerability. Across the savanna, not every snake needs to crush its prey to death. Some need only a single bite for neurotoxic venom to complete the rest of the hunt. The black mamba, nearly 3 meters long, with extreme speed on the ground and enough venom to kill animals many times its own size. This afternoon, a mamba is moving through low grass when a secretary bird spots it and blocks its path with thick scaled legs built for hunting snakes. The mamba immediately raises its head and opens its characteristically black mouth, while the secretary bird slowly circles just outside striking range, forcing its opponent to constantly pivot to track it. The mamba suddenly strikes forward, but the bird sidesteps and delivers a thundering kick to the fully extended body. The mamba strikes again, this time low and close to the ground, targeting the unscaled thigh of the secretary bird. Its fangs find their mark, causing the bird to recoil, its steps beginning to falter. The secretary bird gradually withdraws from the confrontation and turns to leave, the first time it has chosen to retreat. The mamba lowers its head and glides away in the opposite direction, letting the venom complete the rest. But not every confrontation with a mamba ends cleanly. This morning, a brown eagle nearly paid with its life after letting a black mamba coil tight around its wing. The mamba could not find an angle to bite through the thick neck feathers. It loosens its coils to reposition, and the eagle immediately seizes the opening, wings beating erratically as it breaks free from the ground. Those are 3 capabilities that snakes have evolved to dominate the ground. But evolution did not stop there. In the tropical rainforest of Southeast Asia, one species has left the ground behind entirely. Tropical rainforest blanketed in dense leaf canopy and heat rising from the warm earth below. On a branch 30 meters up, a slender green body lies motionless in the light filtering through the canopy. The flying snake has no wings and no gliding membrane, but when it launches from a branch, its body flattens, biflattens, and spreads wide, then glides through the open air like a living ribbon through the ancient forest. 10 meters, then 15 meters, it glides between canopy layers without touching the ground, faster than climbing and safer than descending into a world full of predators below. Landing on a branch, the flying snake coils itself, flicks its tongue to pick up scent, then follows a lizard through the canopy, a race between wingless creatures. But whether hunting by gliding, constricting, or striking, every snake faces the same challenge: swallowing prey whole and intact without hands to tear it apart or teeth to chew. Beyond hunting, snakes possess another trait rarely found elsewhere in the animal kingdom: shedding their entire old skin in a single piece from head to tail. Rubbing its head against rough rock and then pushing forward, the old skin gradually inverts and peels back, revealing a fresh layer of bright new scales beneath. Shedding is not only about allowing the body to continue growing, it also eliminates parasites, bacteria, and accumulated damage, like a rebirth from within the old skin. In the days before shedding, they are nearly blind as the old skin covers their eyes, making the body sluggish and more vulnerable to attack than at any other time. For this reason, they typically hide in rock crevices, dark burrows, or hollow tree bases for many days at a stretch, until the old skin has fully slipped away and their eyes are ready for the next hunt. Heat sensing, constriction, venom injection, aerial gliding, swallowing prey whole, or shedding an entire skin. Any one of these abilities alone is enough for a snake to dominate its own environment. In the semi-desert, the pit viper still lies on the warm rock, waiting for the next heat signature. Farther on, the rock python with a belly stretched tight and heavy after its hunt. Elsewhere on the savanna, the black mamba has vanished into the low grass, while the flying snake continues to coil among the canopy of the tropical rainforest. On the dry rock, the shed skin lies behind like a final trace of one act of rebirth, before ants drag it away and it disappears entirely from nature. Over 3,000 species of snakes exist across nearly every continent. No legs, no wings, no external ears, yet older than most mammal species alive today. What they share is a body that never stops growing. After each shed, bones lengthen, muscles thicken, and the new version is always larger than before. The pit viper that hunts mice today will one day hunt rabbits. The mamba will eventually bring down an eagle in the next confrontation. Every living snake is a draft of a larger version to come. And somewhere on this planet, an egg has just cracked open, a forked tongue tasting the air for the first time before learning how to hunt and survive. Within a few weeks, it will strike for the first time, constrict for the first time, swallow for the first time. And if it survives the first year, the first shed skin will be smaller than a human hand. The final one may stretch longer than 5 meters. They leave behind no roar and no territory to assert their existence. Only shed skins as evidence that the body continues to grow after each act of survival. When the last ray of sunlight leaves the ground, the wind carries a thin, light snakeskin drifting across the grassland. It will tear and vanish, but the creature that shed it has already grown larger and is moving on toward the next hunt. A North American marsh wrapped in thin early morning mist, reeds swaying softly in the breeze. Amid the shallow water, a tall figure appears, its blue-gray plumage blending into the marsh backdrop. In the middle of the wetland, the great blue heron emerges like a living spear, over 1.2 meters tall with a wingspan of nearly 2 meters, standing in silence, waiting for prey to step into range. As the early sun warms the water, a school of small fish swims past a submerged grass clump, the heron still motionless, only its amber eyes slowly tracking every movement below the surface. One fish separates from the school, closer still. The curved neck slowly lowers, each vertebra locking into position like a spring being quietly compressed. Then the neck releases in an instant. The head drives into the water like a lance. The surface explodes, and when the head rises again, a fish is pinned sideways in the long beak. It rotates the fish to the right angle and swallows it whole, a small bulge traveling down the throat. The body returns to its familiar posture, waiting for the next movement. But fish are only the simplest item on the great blue heron's menu. This elegant bird can swallow nearly anything that fits within its beak, which is over 20 centimeters long. At midday, a water snake slides along the grassy bank at the marsh's edge, seeking shade, unaware that it is moving toward a predator that even its own parents would avoid. The heron spots the snake, but does not lunge. It only paces slowly across the mud, quietly circling to cut off the prey's route back to the water. The snake raises its head and recognizes the danger, immediately turns to flee. But the S-curved neck has already lowered, ready to fire before the next movement. The beak drives down, the snake immediately coils tight around it. The great blue heron shakes sideways, then slams the prey hard against the surface, the mud. By the final slam, the snake's body begins to go limp, the coil loosening. The hunter shakes hard until the snake falls free of the beak, then grips it again and begins the process of swallowing. Several minutes of struggle disappear as quickly as they began. It stands motionless in the shallows once more, neck curved, feathers smooth, amber eyes already tracking the next movement. To the south of the marsh, where the water is deeper and the mud softer, a young American alligator, less than 30 centimeters long, glides slowly along the water's edge, learning to stalk and hunt. Only a few months old, it is still far too small to be at the top of the food chain, while it remains a target itself for larger creatures watching from around the marsh. The young alligator moves to the shallows, stops to observe, its underdeveloped hunting instinct leading it to mistake the gray shape ahead for nothing more than a dry log. It swims 1 more meter, then half a meter. The neck lowers, so slowly the water makes no ripple, locking onto the small creature busy paddling through the mud. In the blink of an eye, the beak clamps onto the baby alligator's body before it can react, then slams it repeatedly against the water. The prey struggles weakly and gradually goes still. The young alligator goes motionless. The creature that would have become the lord of the marsh has just disappeared into the mouth of a bird. It would have frightened away once fully grown. As afternoon comes and the water warms, creatures grow more active. And to the north of the marsh, a mother mallard and her ducklings swim slowly through the still water in single file. One duckling is pulled sideways by the current, falling behind, small feet kicking frantically. opening a dangerous gap between it and the protection of the group. The gray shape changes direction, unhurried, each step aimed directly toward the straggling duckling, while the mother continues swimming ahead, completely unaware the group is now one short. The prey swims across its path. One single movement, the beak snaps shut instantly, the yellow down disappears into splashing water, and the mother turns in alarm. The heron raises its head and swallows the duckling whole, leaving a flat water surface behind. The mother circles, searching uselessly, then continues moving as though nothing was lost. The heron stands motionless, the small ripples slowly fading. In a single day, several different prey have passed one after another through this hunting ground. The belly is not yet full. The stance in the middle of the marsh remains, because in the water around it, almost every movement can become food. Late afternoon, the heron's shadow stretches long across the water as a small frog touches a lily pad near the marsh's edge and vanishes instantly. It does not hunt by species, it hunts by opportunity, where any creature that appears at the right distance, the right size, at the right moment can disappear. Its weapon is not fang or talon, but a curved neck that can compress and then release in a flash, leaving prey no time to react. But speed is only half of it. The other half lies in the ability to stand completely still for so long that many creatures fail to recognize the danger standing right beside them. Long toes distribute its weight across the soft mud surface, allowing it to move silently through the hunting zone without being detected. In the low afternoon light, the heron continues moving into deeper water, where larger prey appears, reading the entire marsh like a living hunting map. A larger fish swims slowly near the bottom. The great blue heron watches from above, adjusting its angle of view to compensate for water refraction with high precision. It releases the neck. The head drives deeper than this morning. The large fish is pinned sideways in the beak, thrashing hard. The heron slams the prey into the water, stunning the fish, then swallows it whole. The belly grows heavier, the steps slower, but the eyes remain alert. Any creature that swims past triggers an automatic attack reflex. 7 hunts in a single day. No selecting by species, only selecting by distance. No chasing, only waiting. And when the moment comes, everything ends in the blink of an eye. Below the surface, life continues normally for fish and frogs, while the mother alligator can only protect her young within the limits of her own field of view. The mother duck leads her ducklings into dense reeds to reduce risk. But the marsh always holds more danger, and the 7 that exist today may be 6 tomorrow. The heron still stands motionless in the marsh, neck curved, eyes open like a living statue. But inside the stomach are bones, scales, and feathers, and the water surface reflects the heron's slender silhouette, but beneath the mud, organic remains are decomposing, gradually converting into the nutrients that sustain this entire ecosystem. That cycle maintains the recurring rhythm of hunting. As species, continuously appear around the heron's feeding zone, forming a stable but ever-changing system of participants. The heron spreads its wide wings, glides low across the marsh surface, then settles onto the reed bed bank in the last of the afternoon light, completing a full day of hunting. The marsh slowly shifts its rhythm, smaller creatures becoming more active as the gray shape in the water has departed, reopening the space for the natural pulse of life to resume. Tomorrow morning, when the first ray of sunlight touches the water, the heron will already be standing motionless in the marsh, while a fish unknowingly swims gradually into striking range. But the rhythm of life in the marsh continues by natural instinct, as species keep moving through the water where the heron typically lies in ambush to hunt. The marsh landscape is nearly unchanged: shallow water, soft mud, and softly swaying reeds, concealing a motionless yet supremely effective predator. The grassland of southern Africa, in the middle of the dry season, earth cracked open in great patches, grass burned flat, and the last water source vanished many weeks ago. But deep beneath the dry surface, a creature still exists. Its body nearly shut down, metabolism drastically reduced to hold on to its last reserves of moisture. Through months without eating or drinking, heart beating slowly, waiting for the familiar signal that will wake the body back to life. The sky to the west begins to darken, black clouds rolling low and carrying a damp wind. Then the first drops of rain fall onto the dry earth and seep into the cracks. The rain grows heavier, softening the parched soil, water pooling in small patches across the cracked surface, carrying moisture and new vitality to the arid land. Then the earth stirs. A crack widens, mud bursts upward, and from below, a large head with amber eyes slowly rises after months of concealment. The African bullfrog has a body as dense as a mass of muscle sunk in mud, jaws occupying nearly half its head, lined with small spike-like teeth. Once prey has entered, there is no escape. A body not built for running, it only needs to lie still and wait for prey to come to it. And after months of starvation, the hunting instinct rises back with full force. Small insects crawl across the wet mud. Another bullfrog lies watching the ground, its body blending almost completely into the mud color. A millipede passes close. The bullfrog's mouth snaps open, tongue fires out, jaws close. From the moment the prey touches down to the moment it disappears takes half a second. 10 minutes. Dozens of insects have vanished. The frog makes use of the brief rainy days to rapidly recover the energy burned away through the entire dry season. But insects are only the appetizer. For them, anything that fits in the mouth is food. And around the newly formed water pools, larger prey gradually appears. A field mouse steps out from the wet grass, searching for seeds along the water's edge, nose down low, completely unaware that death is waiting just ahead. It takes one more step, then the mud explodes. The frog's mouth snaps open, swallowing the mouse whole, locking every struggle down with the sharp teeth lining its mouth. The eyeballs press downward to help push the prey deeper into the throat. The mouse disappears, hind legs kicking weakly, then going still. The belly swells, but the mouth is already ready for the next one. 2 weeks after the rain, the savanna is drying again. Insects and small reptiles are more active, and the bullfrog has left the water pool, sitting motionless like a lump of dry mud on the red earth. A small snake slides past, just 20 centimeters away, tongue flickering, head raised to probe the environment. It is still too small to recognize the danger directly in front of it. The snake glides across the frog's field of view. A strike launches upward, misses. Red earth flies up as the prey attacks and tries to find a way out. The second lunge lands true. Jaws lock onto the head. Spiked teeth drive deep. The snake's body coils and tightens around the frog, but is pressed flat against the ground. The frog begins to swallow. The grassland returns to quiet. The frog, lying still under the warm sun, belly rounded and full, beginning the slow process of digestion after a series of heavy meals under the sunlight slowly returning. The rainy season brings not only food, but the opportunity to breed, when all activity must happen quickly before the last drop of water disappears. At the largest water pool in the area, dozens of males gather, throats swelling as deep calls roll across the savanna, drawing females and staking out control of the breeding center. The strongest male holds the central position where the water is deepest, while others ram, press, and bite each other to win the only chance to continue their lineage. When the female arrives, mating is quick. Eggs are fertilized immediately and cling to moss and grass, beginning a life cycle that must outrace the receding water. Tadpoles hatch, thousands of tiny bodies swimming frantically in the warming pool, eating algae and each other to grow, because their life cycle is shorter than the pool sustaining them. Many weeks pass, the harsh sun returns, the pool shrinks day by day from a wide pond to a small puddle. Tadpoles packed together in a life source that is steadily running out. And in the middle of the shrinking pool, the father frog stays. He looks at the mud ridge dividing two pools of water, then quietly uses his hind legs to break through the mud, channeling his young through to the water on the other side. After hours of digging mud, under the blazing sun, his strength is spent, skin dry, eyes half closed. Yet he has held on to the chance of life for thousands of tadpoles. A smaller frog enters the territory being guarded. But for the bullfrog, a smaller member of its own species can sometimes also become food. The lunge happens quickly and decisively. As the dry season turns back, the instinct to protect and the instinct to hunt exist within the same body. Tadpoles begin to grow legs, some metamorphosing into frogs in fewer than 3 weeks, fingernail-sized, leaving the muddy pool to step into the high-risk world above the waterline. But the moment they reach the bank, the young frogs face hunting birds, snakes around the water's edge, and other adult frogs, because when hungry, this species does not distinguish its own kind. Most do not survive the first week. Of thousands of eggs, only a few will still be alive by the following rainy season, but those that remain will grow into monsters like their father. The pool has dried completely. The last tadpoles have left, and the father frog gazes silently at the empty patch of earth, sitting at the edge of dry mud, sensing the heat of the dry season slowly returning. Then the old instinct wakes. It begins to dig, hind legs driving hard, body sinking gradually into the hardening mud, preparing for the next long sleep. Mud slowly covers the back, the head, then both eyes, leaving behind a water-retaining membrane that gradually encases the body like a survival cocoon for the dry months ahead. The earth cracks open again, grass burns flat under the scorching sun, the water pools vanish entirely, and deep below the dry ground, the bullfrog lies still with a slowing heart, waiting for the next rain. A young frog that survived the rainy season sits near the drying bank. No larger than a coin, it has just caught its first ant. Life starts here. If it survives the first dry season, it will burrow into a mud cocoon like its parents, then emerge after the rains, larger, stronger, with a mouth that grows wider with every hunting season. The hot wind sweeps across the savanna. The cracked, dry earth is completely silent, but deep below, hundreds of bullfrogs lie still inside their own water-retaining membranes. And that is how the African bullfrog survives. The most voracious predator on the savanna is also the one that buries itself in a sleep lasting many months, just to exchange it for a handful of opportunities. Field mice still search for seeds. Grass snakes still hunt, completely unaware that the danger sleeping beneath their feet needs only one rain to open its mouth. The rainy season will return, perhaps soon, perhaps late. But without needing to know the timing, it only needs to feel the first vibration when water touches the earth. The first raindrop will fall, the earth will soften, pools will form, insects will surge, and from beneath the cracks, amber eyes will open again, beginning a new hunting season. But for now, the grassland is still dry and hot, and deep beneath the dark earth, it still lies there, waiting. The ground trembles faintly. Not rain yet, only wind moving through the grass. But sooner or later, the water will return, and it will be here when that happens. Afternoon sun pours into the Luangwa River Gorge, murky yellow light illuminating vertical rock faces covered in damp moss where space is suspiciously silent. A few kingfishers dive to the water surface, then dart up, only wing beats echoing in the gorge's quietness. Everything else seemingly motionless. On the cliff edge, a lion pride stands close together, heads bowed observing, eyes not on the water, but focused on the individual in danger. Below, among smooth rocks near the water's edge, a lioness struggles to climb up, claws gripping the surface, but continuously slipping, getting closer to dangerous waters. Lions are large cats dominating many of Africa's dry ecosystems. With male lions weighing up to 180 kilograms, they top the food chain wherever they reach. But all those advantages are designed for flat terrain. On steep, slippery rock surfaces, features once advantageous become disadvantages. The lioness weighs about 130 kilograms, pulling her own body up the sloped face. Gravity quickly overwhelms pulling force, making efforts extremely exhausting. She fell while pursuing prey over the cliff edge, a small miscalculation leading to a long slide, placing her in a life-threatening situation. On the bank, the lion pride still observes. A low roar rings out, but no individual descends, because they know this rock face is a one-way trap. Below, the female tries to grip again. Front legs find footing, but the surface is unstable, pushing force insufficient to hold the body, and she slides down again. Distance to water surface continues closing. Current position not only disadvantageous in terrain, but also conceals another danger. A small ripple spreads from downstream, not from wind, not from current, but a sign of a creature slowly approaching. The lioness recognizes immediately. Eyes lock onto two black points floating on water surface. Alarm, instinct activates. Sounds emitted carry obvious tension. Two black points motionless like rotten logs gradually surfacing, but hidden below is a 4-meter body. The real danger has appeared. And it didn't come alone. Ripples appear from different directions, all heading toward the same point, the cliff base where the lion clings. To understand the danger below, one must know that the creature patiently waiting has existed millions of years, with body structure evolved optimally for hunting. Nile crocodiles reach 5 meters long and weigh over 700 kilograms, and possess bite force among the strongest of animals still existing on Earth. Their tactics rely on ambush, lying motionless for hours, then attacking extremely fast, optimizing energy and ensuring high success probability. After locking jaws, crocodiles drag prey underwater and perform the death roll, inflicting serious damage, and prey quickly loses resistance capability. They can fast for months. Each meal is a long-term investment, so when there's opportunity, they'll thoroughly consume prey. On the rock face, the lioness understands the situation clearly. Above is an unclimbable slope. Below is enemy territory. Now she's trapped between two threats. She moves horizontally along the narrow rock strip, seeking climbable points, each step carefully gripping wet rocks, eyes not leaving water surface. Each step is hope, but also risk. Below, the crocodile pod maintains stable distance, moving parallel. They're not rushing to approach, only maintaining position and waiting for more favorable conditions. The lion discovers a lower section of cliff, but must cross a 2-meter wide shallow water stretch, a short distance, but full of risk. She suddenly lunges down, racing quickly across the water. And in the same moment, a crocodile surges up. Jaws snap shut right where she just been left, only one beat late. The lion grips rocks on the other side, struggling to pull herself up. The crocodile watches from behind underwater. This time escaped, but terrain on this side still slippery and steep, no easier at all. She continues climbing short sections, then sliding down again. Each time losing momentum, position gets closer to water surface, and safe distance gradually closes. The third slip makes hind legs touch water. The lion flinches, jumping back up, but too late. A crocodile lunges, jaws reaching for hind legs. The lion roars, concentrates force on front legs as anchor points. Shoulder muscles tense, resisting overwhelming pulling force from water surface. The struggle increasingly intense. The crocodile bites and slips. The lion escapes. The lion springs onto the rock strip, breathing heavily, while the crocodile sinks, carrying anger. The lion gradually tires and cannot stay in one place long. For crocodiles, that's a signal. They adjust positions, tighten encirclement, distance only, meters remaining. The lioness has no choice left. Cannot climb up, cannot stay. Survival space shrinks by the minute. She moves faster, abandoning fear. Each step, each short leap utilizing every remaining foothold on the slippery rock strip. The crocodiles no longer wait. They simultaneously surge up when the lion crosses the narrow water section, jaws snapping shut consecutively in splashing water. The lion reaches the final rock outcrop. Ahead is the only gentle bank, but separated by a deep water section, while predators have closed in from behind. She looks at the shore, looks at the water surface, then looks at three shadows closing in and jumps down. Four legs touch water. The lion begins swimming as fast as possible toward shore. Distance, gradually from shore, legs still touching bottom. But behind, crocodiles are accelerating. The largest submerges, disappears. This is the most dangerous moment. The lion nearly reaches shore. Front legs grip earth, pulling body up, but injured hind leg lacks strength, making her slide down, and that's all the crocodile needs. From behind, a crocodile surges up and locks jaws onto the rear section. Massive pulling force jerks the lion back into the water. The second crocodile immediately lunges in, clamping tight on front shoulder. Two pulling forces from two directions make the lion sink half submerged. Only head and one front leg protruding. The death roll begins. Lion's body dragged completely under. Water surface churns violently, then gradually settles, returning to initial calm. Water surface returns to stillness. No more sounds or movement, only a few small ripples fading on the surface. The grassland ruler has sunk from here. Above, the lion pride stands silent. Calling sounds echo down, no response. Only wind blowing through the gorge echoes back. After several tries, they fall silent. After a few minutes, one by one, leaves the cliff edge. They leave without looking back. On the plains, prolonging loss is also putting oneself at risk. Below the Luangwa River, crocodiles drag prey to the deep bottom, holding it for natural decomposition process before beginning the meal. Nile crocodiles can fast for months, and today's meal is a 130-kilogram lioness, enough to feed them for many weeks. The confrontation closes according to environmental law. When entering water, advantage belongs to water-adapted creatures. On that territory, all land advantages lose value. The lion pride loses a member. Movement rhythm and behavior will change in following days, reflecting adjustment to risk. Dusk arrives. Landscape returns to familiar state, leaving almost no clear traces of the event just occurred. The lion pride stops to rest in tall grass area, far from the river. They lie closer together, the gap of one individual becoming obvious in the silent formation. Each encounter leaves marks in blood. Later decisions will change through reflexes formed from experience. Below the river, crocodiles continue moving slowly. Eyes, nose protruding, then sinking back. The observation cycle and endless patience count again from the start. In the Luangwa ecosystem, lions and crocodiles share the food chain apex, each species dominating half the world. When boundaries are erased, advantage belongs to the side adapting better to conditions at that moment. Each rainy season, water rises. Dry season, water recedes. Boundaries continuously change. Encounters repeat. No permanent winner, only temporary adaptation. Today's lioness didn't fail from lack of strength. On land, she's the ruler. But when conditions change, mass and body structure itself become disadvantages. Conversely, crocodiles don't need to be faster or stronger in all circumstances. They only need the right environment, where their advantages are maximized. Sun sets over Luangwa. Onshore, lions rest in tall grass. Below water, crocodiles hide. Two parallel worlds, meters apart, but deciding survival. Tomorrow morning, though one individual fewer, the lion pride's rhythm doesn't stop. They'll avoid the riverbank, continue hunting on grasslands, and remember dangerous boundaries. Night wind blows through the gorge, carrying scents of mud and damp grass. Traces on rocks gradually disappear. Bank edge returns as before. Nature erases what once occurred. Under moonlight, crocodiles hide in flat water. In a world where mistakes mean endings, silence sometimes is the sign of danger itself. Under the early morning sun, the grassland ripples in waves. Among a cluster of flowers by a stream, a bee lands to drink nectar without noticing that the flower beside it has just turned its head. A flattened, glittering body with forelegs, spread like open petals, gives the orchid mantis perfect camouflage, its gaze continuously tracking the bee's every movement. When the bee lands on the flower right beside it, less than 2 centimeters away, the forelegs folded tight to the chest part slightly, the compound eyes rotate 180 degrees and lock precisely onto the prey's position. The moment the bee bows its head to drink nectar, those forelegs snap out in an instant, the sharp spines closing around the body. The bee's wings beat frantically a few times, then go still. The mantis brings the prey to its mouth, small jaws grinding through the chitin shell until only the thin wings remain, slowly falling down through the grass. A clean end to the first hunt of the day. After eating, it cleans its forelegs with its mouth, then sways gently with the leaf rhythm, blending back into the vegetation. Compound eyes still catching the rhythm of every movement on the surrounding branches. A few meters away, a small lizard crawls along a tree trunk without noticing that above it, the predator has already begun tracking its every step. In the midday sun, a green leaf mantis, roughly half the lizard size, sways its body like a real leaf, quietly sending movement signals to draw prey closer. The distance narrows to just 3 centimeters. The lizard finally notices the strange movement ahead. It freezes, studies the opponent carefully, then slowly lowers its head. The tongue is about to fire. But before the lizard can act, the mantis has already struck first. The folding forelegs snap down over the head before the tongue can retract. The lizard thrashes violently, but the grip locked around its head prevents any effective counterattack. Repeated bites begin targeting the soft tissue around the edges of the mouth. Channeling every remaining ounce of strength, the lizard wrenches hard and flings the mantis off the branch, breaking one of its hind legs. But the opening lasts only a moment. The mantis lunges again. The second lock is more decisive. Having fully subdued the prey, the mantis begins using its jaws to chew through the body, piece by piece, methodically consuming the opponent. The previous hunts all had a stable foothold, but this time, the mantis must hold its prey in midair, where a hummingbird hovers with wing beats at 70 times per second. In a tropical garden covered in red and violet blooms, a tiny body hovers before a nectar feeder, wings blurring into a haze in the sunlight. On the leaf, the green shadow has remained motionless for many hours. It lost one leg in this morning's hunt, but the front legs are still intact and folded tight against its chest, waiting. The hummingbird moves closer, its hum vibrating softly in the air. It dips its beak into the flower's center, into the nectar, just under 1 centimeter from the already parting forelegs. The moment it tastes the sweetness, the forelegs snap closed around the bird's neck, spines driving through thin feathers, sending the animal into a panic that pulls both off their position and into a spin through open air. Both fall into the shrubs below, where the final struggle ends. The mantis pins the prey down, pulling away small pieces through the thin feather layer. 2 hours later, only a few traces remain on the leaves. The wind will carry the last fragments away. The mantis will clean its forelegs, and it will turn toward the next prey. The previous prey were all smaller or comparable in size. But this time, the opponent is far longer, has sharp fangs, and attacks first, pushing the mantis into a reactive position. In low tropical shrubs under harsh sunlight, a green vine snake glides across a branch, tongue flickering for scent, but the smell of leaves masks the ambushed predator above. The snake stops beneath the branch, raises its head to probe the area, then detects movement. It lunges upward and bites one of the mantis's legs, opening a counterattack. The mantis bites back at the snake, but the snake's skin is too tough, so the mantis drops its prey onto a dry branch and escapes, leaving the mantis standing motionless on the tree. But the greatest danger does not come from prey. It comes from its own kind. The breeding season forces the male to approach a female much larger than itself, carrying those lethal hunting forelegs. The female mantis stands on a high branch, abdomen swelling with eggs. Below, a male half her size advances slowly from behind to stay out of her dangerous reach. Each step forward is broken by pauses to observe which direction the female's head is turned. The moment her head turns back, the male immediately freezes, is blending into the branch. 10 minutes pass. The male is now pressed close behind. He waits for the female to lower her head to feed, then immediately climbs onto her back, mating beginning amid the risk of being torn apart. A few minutes later, the female's head suddenly swings back. The hunting forelegs snap shut in an instant, closing down over the head of the mate trying to escape. The male wrenches hard trying to break free, but the size disadvantage leaves him unable to move. The female begins consuming the head, while the lower body continues its reflex mating motions by instinct. Half an hour later, the remaining body parts will become the final protein source nourishing the growing eggs, turning the mate into a meal before laying begins. Among the branches, the female folds her forelegs close to her chest, abdomen swelling steadily with developing eggs. In the days ahead, she will find a suitable dry branch, wrap the next generation into an egg case, and leave. The ootheca slowly hardens under the sun, becoming a shield against weather and danger. But the body that formed it will not live long enough to see the day the eggs hatch. Many weeks later, her movements slow. A column of ants approaches the mother mantis. A body that survived countless hunts, finally brought still beneath an army. Above on the branch, the egg case still clings in place. Inside, hundreds of eggs are growing, protected by the last shield the mother left behind. A few weeks later, the foam casing splits open. Hundreds of mantis nymphs clamber over each other and emerge at once, hunting forelegs already folded and the first hunger already rising. And the first meal is not aphids, it is their own siblings. The faster ones immediately lock onto the necks of those beside them, opening a wave of cannibalism from the very first minute. Of the hundreds that emerge at once, numbers drop sharply within the first hour. The survivors scatter in every direction, leaving behind the first battlefield of their lives. But the grassland is also full of danger. Birds, lizards, and spiders continuously hunt every small movement, keeping the survival chain in constant reversal and swallowing the weak. Fewer than 1 in 10 survive the first week, but each survivor has already passed its first molt, body harder, longer, with forelegs beginning to resemble the mother's. On the old branch, the egg case is now empty, the shell slowly weathering in sun and wind. Below the tree, ants have cleaned away every trace, as though nothing ever existed. On the branch beside it, a nymph that has molted twice stands motionless, forelegs folded close to its chest, body swaying with the wind, compound eyes sweeping the leaf surface below. Compound eyes reflecting the late-day sun, forelegs folded against the chest, motionless, silent, waiting, as every generation before it has done. The dry season arrives. The Serengeti grassland falls silent in a different way, not empty, but the kind of silence before something great begins. Hundreds of thousands of zebras are moving southward. This is the greatest migration on Earth, and not one of them is allowed to stop. Among the herd, calves just a few weeks old move along. Their striped coats still soft, their legs still unsteady. They do not yet know they are on their way to their first test. Ahead lies the Mara River, the natural boundary that every animal in the herd must cross. There is no other path. There is no second option. The zebra is Africa's largest seasonal migrant, traveling thousands of kilometers each year in search of new, nutrient-rich grasslands. A foal must stand within 30 minutes of being born, not a miracle. It is the bare minimum required to survive in this ecosystem. It stays close to its mother with every step, a behavior known as shadowing. For the foal, its mother is not just protection, but direction, the entirety of its world. But it has never crossed a river, never faced rushing water, never felt the pull of an invisible current. What lies ahead is a completely new experience. The zebra herd halts at the riverbank. Thousands of individuals stand still. A rare moment in nature when the fastest running species hesitates before a body of water. The Mara River is not wide, but width is not the danger here. The danger lies beneath the surface of the murky red-brown water surging past. Below the surface, Nile crocodiles have been waiting since before the zebra herd arrived. They do not rely on speed, they rely on patience. A fully grown adult can weigh between 500 and 750 kilograms. Its bite force reaches up to 5,000 pounds per square inch, enough to drag an adult zebra underwater in just a few seconds. In the murky water, the Nile crocodile is nearly invisible. This is not merely hiding. It is a perfect attack design refined over hundreds of millions of years of evolution. The Mara River's current this season reaches 3 to 5 meters per second, enough to sweep away any foal that loses its footing, even without a predator present. The riverbed is covered in slippery rocks. One misplaced step is all it takes. The current and the rocky bottom are the first threats the foal must face before the crocodiles. The lead animal steps into the water. Thousands follow, not out of courage, but because the pressure of the herd leaves no other choice. The foal hesitates at the water's edge. The cold water touches its front hooves, a completely new sensation. No memory exists to make it feel familiar. The mother zebra turns her head back, the clearest signal of all, follow me. The foal steps in, not because it understands the danger, but because it cannot stay behind alone. The water rises to its belly. All 4 legs lose stability on the slippery rocks. The running reflex is triggered, but in water, speed no longer means anything. The foal begins to swim by reflex. Its muscles are not yet strong enough to fight the Mara River's current. Every second that passes, a portion of its energy is swept away. On this bank, hyenas are watching, and they are waiting. The smartest player in any hunt is not always the one who strikes first. The current pushes the foal 2 meters away from its mother. In ordinary circumstances, that distance means nothing. But here, 2 meters is the boundary between safety and danger. Beneath the surface, a crocodile, more than 4 meters long, begins to adjust its angle. No rush, no sound. It is calculating the approach angle and the right moment. The foal falls into a panic, the most dangerous mistake possible in water. Panic disrupts the swimming rhythm, drains energy, and pulls the body deeper beneath the surface. The mother senses it and turns back, breaking from the flow of the moving herd. Turning back means accepting a higher risk, going against the rules of survival. Underwater, a crocodile attacks the nearest adult, not the foal. It is a feint, creating chaos to isolate the real target. A burst of water explodes. The zebra herd breaks formation, scattering in multiple directions. The foal loses its bearings. Its mother is no longer visible, only water and the sound of chaos. Instinct takes over. No more thinking, only reflex remains. And in those few brief seconds, everything is decided. The crocodile disappears back into the current after its strike. Not visible does not mean safe. In the Mara River, the most dangerous things are usually the ones that cannot be seen. Finally, the foal reaches a narrow strip of land in the middle of the river. It climbs up, gasping, all four legs trembling, but it is still standing. The mother has already reached the far bank. She calls out, the distinctive recognition call of the zebra. Amid the chaos, that is the only signal the foal needs. The second time it steps into the water, the foal no longer hesitates. Its mother's call has overridden the fear, an evolutionary mechanism that prioritizes connection over panic. The second half of the river holds no crocodiles. They have concentrated around the main herd. The foal does not know this. It swims in fear, and that very fear drives it to move faster. The far bank comes into view. It climbs up using every last bit of energy. No technique, no control, only the survival instinct. The mother stands still and waits. She does not move closer. In the language of zebras, standing still is an affirmation. I am here. You must come to me. The foal trembles, coat soaked through, breathing rapid. But it is standing beside its mother, on ground that just minutes before seemed completely out of reach. Not far away, another foal is not so fortunate. Separated from the herd early, it loses its bearings, swept downstream by the current. Its mother cannot find it again. Nature does not distinguish between right and wrong. Only different positions and different moments produce different outcomes. 1 meter in the wrong place is enough to change everything. The crocodile pulls its prey to the bottom, a behavior known as the death roll. No drama, no drawn-out struggle, only a mechanism, executed exactly as it was designed. The rest of the zebra herd continues up the bank, no stopping, no looking back. In herd survival, stopping means increasing the risk for all. The foal stands on this bank and looks back at the river. Its brain cannot process memories the way a human's does. But its body will remember, in the way that biology remembers. Instinct is not rewritten by thought, but by experience. Today's fear becomes tomorrow's reflex. That is how nature evolves every living creature. The foal will cross the Mara River many more times in its life. Each time, it steps in faster, more precisely. Survival is a skill learned through fear. In nature, there is no such thing as a safe childhood. To be born is to begin a series of trials. Instinct is not perfect. It must be sharpened through risk and fear. Across the Serengeti grassland, that cycle will continue, season after season, generation after generation. And the Mara river will remain, waiting for Antais, each new foal, to step into the first test of its life.